Hola y bienvenidos a Amores Patos. Hi, welcome to Amores Patos.
I'm your host, Anna.
And I'm your host, Faby.
This is a podcast where two best friends get together and talk about
Duck facts,
duck lore,
duck mermaids,
and DuckTales. Well, I, like many Americans, have been using the stimulus check, the one-time stimulus check our government graciously gave to us to pay for rent and groceries and my basic necessities, and to do some online shopping, like many of us have done.
Yeah,
I believe in this time.
I didn't use the stimulus check because I didn't get that, but I used my FAFSA money.
Yeah.
Because I'm living at home.
That government money.
I mean, technically, I'm still gonna eventually have to pay it back, but for now,
we're not gonna think about that now.
Yeah. I've bought a lot of nail polish in the past month, 2 months.
I bought an $80 Caballeros Loungefly backpack.
Well, you said 60.
Was it 60?
Was it 80?
It was 80.
Oh, okay.
Did I say 60? It was 80.
Oh, God.
90 with tax.
Oh, God.
I didn't hesitate, though. I've been waiting for this backpack. And I knew the minute it came out, I was going to buy it. This is not a Caballeros episode, but I know we're going to be talking way too much next episode for me to squeeze it in. So I'm bringing it into this episode, which is a relatively light episode, comparatively.
Yeah. There's not a lot to discuss. No. Sometimes we get really deep.
There's a little bit, I guess, in this one. Some speculation we can give, but yeah, besides that, not much.
Yeah. So I've been playing a lot of Animal Crossing. I just want y'all to know that.
I saw a dragonfly in real life, and my first instinct was to catch it. No joke. I will hear the balloon noise when I'm driving. God. And I'll look, and I'm like, oh, shit, no, don't do that.
Oh, God.
Eyes on the road.
Oh, my God. It's fun, and yet I feel like I've done so little.
It's hard. No, we all got to go at our own pace, create our islands. I shamelessly rip off ideas from people I see online.
Well, I feel like, because my plan so far, I'm creating a diner in my kitchen.
Nice.
But I think I'm just going to move it outside because I have this giant diner sign that I bought today that I want to use.
Yeah, no, that's fun. Yeah, I have an outdoor quasi not quite restaurant going on next to a cemetery, which I might move one of those.
Mm-hmm. But I do want to brag because I got S tier on my house this past weekend.
Hey, nice.
So that's fun.
I don't know how you check that. How do I know that?
They tell you every weekend in your mail.
Oh, okay. I have no clue what my level of whatever is. They send me things, and I'm like, oh right, oh cool, and then I just don't read. I'm like, oh, I have a trophy. I don't read my mail too closely.
Yeah,
maybe that's on me.
But yeah. I just want to brag, I have Pietro now.
I know you do have Pietro. I was assigned Sprocket because I could not find the villager in time.
He moved from mine to yours.
He did. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm lucky though. Yeah. I was spared one of the many, 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 many ugly villagers.
But you still have Rodney.
I still have Rodney. I did not have a choice with him. He's still there.
Anna and I were on a Skype call for a couple of hours a week ago, and I spent most of it trying to get Poppy to get Coach to move out.
Yeah.
And I was on that DS for 4 or 5 hours. It was hot.
Yeah.
But it was worth it because I
Yes.
have Poppy
Yes.
and I got rid of Coach.
I hope to one day have a cool villager in my campsite.
Yeah, I have Judy also, which I didn't
Yeah,
know people really liked.
Judy's a dreamy.
Yeah.
I'm not too good with the classifications. I'm like, that's a good design. I want
She's
it.
really cute. She's really cute.
I've come around to
It's
Raymond.
Jeremiah.
What?
You want Raymond?
I would not be opposed to Raymond.
See, I got Judy, I think in my camp. So I just got lucky.
Yeah, oh my god, not super lucky. I've gotten just like a bunch of randos in my camp. The cat is trying to bite my charger. Please don't. I think no. She'll electrocute herself or whatever it is that happens.
Oh God.
Oh,
I don't know.
Yeah. I should do the
You should
episode.
get started.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, if you can hear fireworks, I'm really sorry. We'll try to edit. Anna will try to edit them out. But
I will do my best.
Yeah.
If you hear them, just know what that is.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Today's episode is Season 3, Episode 4, The Lost Harp of Mervana.
Ooh.
The story is by Frank Angonis, Madison Bateman, Colleen Evanson, Christian Magalhaes, and Bob Snow. The storyboards are by Vince Zappato, Christian Gish, and Victoria Harris. It was written by Colleen Evanson, and it was directed by Tanner Johnson.
Hey.
And for our watches, Matilda McDuck is not living in an undersea laboratory, and neither is the illustrious Benzino Gasolini.
Hey, everybody, I'm here.
That would have been terrifying to see.
I'm gonna keep my eyes peeled for him in the next episode, but I don't think he's there either.
One day soon. He's gotta.
My only hope is for a crowd shot.
Yeah.
Like, that's how we got Captain Foghorn in Last Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Just
Holding out
that's all
hope.
we need.
And now it is time for the game show within our podcast. It is now time for Duck or False.
Okay.
Alright, Faby, for your Duck or False question. In DuckTales 1987, Mervana is the home of a race of fish people who take Scrooge and Co. hostage for littering in their ocean. The episode ends with the mer people learning to make art out of the garbage as a lesson about recycling, and the service people don't learn anything about littering, and Scrooge profits off of the recycled sculpture art they make. Did this episode exist?
I'm gonna say false.
It's false.
Okay.
I made it up.
You could sell it to me.
I made it up. We do see like a race of fish people in the Catch as Cash Can 4-part episode. I cannot tell you which one. I don't care. They live in Atlantis or something, and they kind of look like weird frog people, even though they're fish.
Uh-huh.
And there is something about littering, and then I also pulled a plot from Neptunia, from the Darkwing Duck. She's a hero.
Yeah.
Who gets pissed at Darkwing and the human race, in quotes, for littering in the ocean.
Valid. Very valid.
And Scrooge in DuckTales 1987 would often profit off of whatever it is he kind of stumbled into.
Yeah. No matter what.
No matter
He's
what.
like, I just get a cut of this now. And you're like,
Yeah.
why? You were
Why?
just here.
Like, I guess you kind of helped us, I guess, but we're not going to give you, like, a percentage. I own every bank, but I want more money.
Oh, God. No, yeah. I suddenly really miss Disneyland because thinking of your Tres Caballeros backpack made me think of your Scrooge bag.
Yeah.
How we literally left the park to go get it.
Yeah.
And that was fun.
I think what we went, I think we rode Indiana Jones. We did a couple of rides, maybe Space Mountain too.
Yeah. Usually we do that first because it gets like the stupidest line.
Yeah, and then it's not as hot early. Mm-hmm. And then we met Donald.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went out to World of Disney and bought it, and then came back to the park.
Yeah. And honestly, I would recommend getting a locker because
100%. When
really good.
Disneyland opens in like a year,
Mm-hmm.
when it is safe to go potentially in like a year.
Yes.
Yeah, locker 100%. It's so convenient. And Disneyland is so small. You're not even walking that far. Even if you're saying
Exactly.
Tomorrowland and you have to walk to the locker, it's not bad. It's like 5 minutes to walk there.
Mm-hmm. I've literally like put duffel bags.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There.
Filled with contraband.
No. Don't say that. Filled with
the
my stuff
the
'cause I
Disney
stayed over with Anna.
The Disney police gonna come break down my door?
Yes, they're gonna see that I'm not wearing my Mickey ears that I bought. Actually, I've never bought a Mickey ears.
I bought some in Walt Disney just to rub in people's faces that I had been to Walt Disney World.
Me. But you have the Epcot ones, right?
Yes. Because they're like distinct, and they have like the Epcot ball pattern. I don't care what it's actually called.
I don't know.
It's the Epcot
I don't
ball.
know. Who knows?
The prettiest girl in school.
Stupid.
How did we get on this topic? Oh, the backpack.
Yeah, backpack. Mermaids.
Yeah, mermaids.
Talk about the mermaids.
There's mermaids happening here. That's right. Alright, so yeah, episode.
Yeah.
So we're back to adventuring. The whole family's here except for Launchpad. And they are on a big family adventure. They are following one of the missing mysteries from Isabella Finch's journal. Mm-hmm. And this one specifically is for the missing harp of Mervana.
Yeah. And they're in the submarine.
Yes.
And it's Huey who's talking about this. He's like, there was this like shiny civilization, and then until the people disappeared into the sea, and they were never seen again. Mm-hmm. And he has like this cute map, and it's like until now, So they need to solve, not only just kind of like where did these people go, but like also like you said, like the Lost Harp of Mervana.
Yeah, that's the object itself that Finch never found. And Dewey points out that it's normally Scrooge who makes these long-winded treasure speeches, but this is Huey's season, and so it's his turn. And so it is nice to see him taking more of like the leadership role in the adventures, like with the knowledge and the history of them. And
Though I will say, this isn't a Huey episode.
It's not. It is not. It starts out making you think it will be.
Exactly. I think when I was rewatching it yesterday, I was like, wait a minute. This episode made me believe it was a Huey episode. Then it cuts it right off.
Yeah, completely. Like, in the first minute, they're like, okay, here's Huey, and shove him out of the way. Here we have Louie and Webby.
Oh, Huey. But yeah. Scrooge gets offended at the, implication that his speeches are long-winded.
Yes.
And Webby, ever supportive, is like, oh, I like them. And Dewey's like, oh, yeah, we know.
We know you do. And we didn't mention that Beakley's also here.
Yeah. So it's everyone but Launchpad.
Everyone but Launchpad. I was very happy to see Beakley on a family adventure, though. She has not been on enough, and so I'm glad she was involved this time. As Huey's trying to continue giving his history, his lecture, Scrooge gets very excited and wants to join.
Yeah. And it's cute. And then he takes out, this, paper that has,
it's this artist illustration.
Yeah. And they're kind of terrifying. It's
they're awful. I think they look season 1, episode 1, when they're going to Atlantis, we do see some, mermaid monster creatures, and this one kind of looks like that, but skinnier and gross, and I feel like just looking at it, it would be slimy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
So he's saying, like, oh, you know, like, they belong to this race of, like, that are... And then Scrooge interrupts, like, very excitedly, who, like, they have half man, half fish, and that their legs turn into, like, fins when they're underwater.
Yeah.
And then they both, like, really excitedly, they're like, you know, which allows them to live both in land and sea, and they just, like, start, like, jumping together.
Yeah, they're, like, hugging and jumping in place because they're so excited. And it's really cute. So it is really nice to see them have this, like, they're both very nerdy and excited about being nerdy about adventure. And, like, the history behind the adventure and all that.
Yeah,
so that's fun.
Cute.
This is Huey's quest. We are all here to support him.
Yeah, go ahead, lad.
I will add that when the Mervanans disappeared into the sea, the priceless harp of Mervana disappeared as well.
How did the Mervanans survive under the sea, you ask? Well, Mervana was home to a mystical race of...
half man, half fish creatures. Their legs could turn to fins underwater,
allowing them to live
on both land and sea.
Well, Huey's still, like, fanboying. He's saying, you know, like, we have to find the Mervanans, we have to document the harp, and then we can, then the missing mystery won't be, you know, it's not going to be missing. And so Louie, who's just, like, slumped over on his seat, being the most negative person here, he's like, you know, like, cool, now we have two people that are going to be putting us in constant danger.
Yeah.
And Webby... But she's really excited because she's like, you know, it's a half person, half fish. And she's like, do you know what that means? And then Della's like,
it's disgusting. Because Della has, the fear of fish. I looked it up and I did not look up how to pronounce it. So it is on me. It's like ichthyophobia. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, which I probably am, that is on me. But she has a fear of fish, like the phobia of fish. Because she gets so grossed out by the mere thought of them, she lets the sub start to, like, drift.
Yeah.
And so Doll has to rush in and grab, like, the steering wheel, the steering mechanism.
Yeah. One day we'll know boat and
I don't know. I don't like boats.
Oh, no. The last time I was in a boat, I got very, very nauseous.
When?
In Iceland. That was the last time I was in a boat.
Oh, that was bad, yeah. Well, I mean, it was a literal storm. It was literally like 40-mile-an-hour wind. So that's completely fair for us to have had a bad time.
Yeah.
I can't do boats on the ocean. I don't like the ocean. But I'll do a boat in a lake. I'll do a boat
like by
in a lake.
Like, I don't like thinking about the deep sea.
It's not that I just don't like the ocean. Like, there's too much.
That too.
Like in a lake, here's the border. I'm in it. In an ocean, it just goes. It just keeps going.
But also like lakes can also just like drop off. Like you can have like even in a river, you can have like a sinking hole.
But that doesn't scare me because I know like
that's terrifying.
Because I know like I'm around. Like like I went on a trip once. I had a rich friend who paid for me to go to Hawaii with her, so that was great. and I wouldn't go further than my waist in the ocean, and everybody knew it. But then we went to a pond with like a waterfall thing, and it was like 30 feet deep. And I went all the way out with everybody else, and everyone's like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, "It's not the ocean. I know where the edges are. It doesn't matter. I'm not gonna sink. I can fucking swim. But I know where the edges are."
Yeah, yours is an area problem. Mine is more of like a depth problem.
Yeah.
Don't like that. Don't like the ocean. Now I'm thinking about the ocean.
Well, you're gonna keep thinking about it because we got mermaids.
I know. I don't like my fear of sharks is like less than it used to be, but like I don't like.
One day we'll watch Jaws together.
What?
One day we'll watch Jaws together.
No, I don't want to watch Jaws. Just like it's the creatures. Like I'm just like, or just the knowledge that like it's like pitch black down there.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's like way down though.
Exactly. Ugh. Like, underwater caves freak me out as well.
Oh,
like,
that's
the
fun.
thought.
Like the ones where they have like air bubbles trapped inside and stuff, like air pockets. That's fun.
Yeah. Because
Well-
if you like get in there, you can die in there.
It's
You
like
just never be found.
like that guy in Incredibles.
Yeah.
Gazy
I hate
beam.
it. Is that where my fear comes from?
Is that the source?
Is that the story?
You know what? We'll watch Jaws, and I'll just cover your eyes whenever the shark comes out.
I was on the goddamn movie tour ride
Why?
in Universal Studios, and I did not like the shark part.
Why did you go on that ride? Jaws is a part of it.
Anna, I wanted to see the disaster that was the Fast and the Furious bit
Fine, okay,
so
fair,
bad.
Fine.
And it was like if I was in a PlayStation 1 game, and it was beautiful.
Oh my god.
They got rid of the Fast and the Furious bit for that. Can you believe?
I can't believe.
And it's like I dragged my brother and my brother's girlfriend to it, and I feel like they maybe thought I was gonna get disappointed. It's like, no, I knew it was gonna be a hot mess, and I enjoyed every second of it.
I wanted it to be terrible. That was the point.
That was the point. It made me feel like I was in a PlayStation game, and that's beautiful.
God.
Because the rest of it, like the earthquake scene,
Yeah. You're like in the subway, and like everything says, yeah, that's rad.
Yeah,
And then it's
it's
like
so
Norman
rad.
Bates, right, comes out and like chases
Yeah.
the golf cart or whatever you're
Yeah.
riding in, the trolley thing.
and then you get to see like the plaza from Back to the Future. You get to see the house from The Grinch.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, like it's rad.
It is rad.
And then it's like a terrible PlayStation rendition
Yeah.
of Fast and the Furious.
I can't remember if I haven't been to Universal in, oh my god, in like a decade. Holy shit.
Uh-huh.
But like, when I last went, I can't remember if the Fast and the Furious was there.
No, it was only
Okay.
like the past like 2 years, I think.
Oh, okay.
Or a year.
Maybe it was the King Kong? I don't remember what they had. It was a
They have
decade
King
ago.
Kong. They have King
Yes.
Kong. They have the earthquake, which is the underneath the
Yeah,
tunnel.
I remember that.
And then I think they had the Back to the Future one.
I don't remember the Back to the Future, but I also have a very shit memory, so it might have been there.
Maybe. Also, they had a Beetlejuice show until recently, like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Watching Defunctland is really upsetting.
It's
because
super upsetting. I also learned how
could've
fucked
been
up,
there.
racist, sexist, homophobic Disney used to be, and is.
Yeah. I want that shirt, though.
Homosexual fast dancing. Listen to the Defunctland on, what, Videopolis?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah. It
Videopolis.
is. Yeah.
Or just watch Defunctland. It's
Yeah,
fun.
it's-
Makes you
well,
kind
yeah,
of
it's
nostalgic
great.
for things.
Makes you nostalgic, upset, and incredulous
Yeah.
at some of the
all
things
that.
Disney did in the 90s.
I love watching that. Like, I watched the, oh my god, what's the limousine one called? I forgot the fucking ride.
Oh god, Superstar Limo, right?
Superstar Limo,
There.
yeah. I watched that video and immediately, because Anna hadn't seen it yet, so I went to went to the Monsters Inc. ride.
Yeah.
I was like, that used to be Drew Carey. She's like, what the fuck?
No, I had no idea what the hell you were talking about. I'm like, the fuck? But I watched the Defunctland on Superstar
Yeah.
Limo, and now I understand.
Yeah, and now when we go again eventually, you'll know where Drew Carey was.
I'll know where Drew Carey was.
Anyways, if you can
Yeah.
tell, this episode is...
It's not the most gripping episode. It's good, but it's not,
Yeah. It's alright.
It's alright. It's not bad. It's a fun, like, a adventure episode.
Yeah. So I forgot where we were already.
Louie saying that this mystical society like definitely won't try to sacrifice them or kill them or trick them in any way. Like that, there's no way they're secretly evil.
Yeah, and Whoopi's like, why are you so negative? And he's literally like, he takes out like sheets of paper that are taped together.
Yeah.
And he's like, because I have this tally going of all the times each of us has been like offered as a sacrifice.
Yes, and Dewey's winning.
By a lot. And
Yeah.
he's proud of it too.
He's so proud of being routinely offered as a sacrifice, which is fun. But we see obviously Webby being very positive. Like she's always very positive, as we've seen in the face of constant horror and danger and always seeing the best in people.
Yeah.
And Beakley defends her, saying that she loves that Webby is so positive.
You could learn from her, Louie. I applaud Webby's positivity.
Aw, thanks, Granny.
Oh, please, life is not some fairy tale filled with happy endings and...
Louie's like, whatever, like, life isn't fairy tale, isn't a fairy tale filled with, happy endings, and then Webby's like, mermaids, because at that point we see, like, a bunch of mermaids go by, like, the sub windows, and they're pretty rad.
No, yeah, they're cool. They're all, we'll describe them more in a bit, but yeah, they swim up and around the sub, and everyone's at the window like, wow, ooh, ah, and then Della prepares to murder them all.
Because we hear, like, the code, I guess, like, a lady's voice, like, announcing these, like, torpedoes being armed.
Yeah.
So they all have to stop her from doing it.
Jesus.
I've never seen anything more beautiful in my life.
Arming torpedoes.
Obviously, everyone gets had to get out of the sub, and they're all wearing like diving gear.
Yeah.
And Donald accidentally like unhooks his oxygen tank, and he's being like, he's just propelling him all around to escaping air.
Yeah.
So he's having a grand old time, like usual.
Oh, Donald. He just can't just catch a break ever.
No, we can't. It's in his contract.
So, because we see these two mermaids. They kind of like go to introduce themselves. So Webby's like, obviously, hi, I'm Webby, and we have a female mermaid. Her name is, I already forgot how to pronounce it. Alethea, and she explains that it means truth.
Yes.
And then we have the guy mermaid, and his name is Vero, which also means truth.
They do actually mean truth. It's truth in Greek and Italian.
Ooh.
So that's fun. And I do like the design. The designs are cute. The Alethea is pink. Like her feathers are pink, which is fun. Mm-hmm. She has purple hair and like this long flowy blouse and like shells and the braid and stuff. And the green mermaid Vero has like a V-neck t-shirt.
Yeah.
I think like bracelets and stuff. Like
bracelets, like a necklace.
Man bun.
A man bun. Yeah.
And they are voiced by Greg Sipes and Hynden Walsh, who are, I think, best known as Beast Boy and Starfire, respectively, from the Teen Titans.
Oh. Wait, which version? The original?
Yeah, original. Well, they voiced them both in the original and in Teen Titans Go. They kept the same voice cast, I think, for almost everyone.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
and I just assumed they.
They're the same, unfortunately. Nothing against Teen Titans Go, but I would like if, they instead had
the original Teen Titans.
Yeah.
I always tell Anna that I remember nothing about the Teen Titans, but I do remember a lot about the edgy Looney Tunes cartoon.
That's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know. But yeah, they're very chill people.
They're hippies.
Yeah, they're hippies. They talk in very, like, soothing tones. Webby's like, like speaking, as a mermaid, what is it like living my dream? She's very cute, very intense, as always. And
yeah, completely, because these are mermaids, like, whoa.
Yeah, that's all, mermaids, unicorns, that's what she's about.
Yeah.
And Alethea is like, like, breathe in, breathe out, all your worries, child, Mervana is free of all suffering. And, like, Scrooge is, again, just old man.
Yeah, Scrooge immediately, he's like, bullshit.
Like, he grabs Donald, who's still, like, kind of flailing about.
Yeah.
And, like, reattaches the tube. And
he's
like,
to the oxygen tank.
Yeah, and he's like, suffering builds character. Right, Donald? See, he's full of character.
Yeah, old Donald is going literally blue in the face from lack of oxygen. He's gonna get the fucking bends.
Oh, no.
He's fine, though.
Yeah, he'll be good.
Yeah, so everyone's gonna... Oh, and Scrooge, we didn't mention, has his top hat on top of the diver suit.
So stupid.
It's a very important detail. And so everyone's going to follow the mermaids, but Della is staying behind in the sub.
Yeah.
Because fish.
And, yeah. And Dewey's like, are you sure? And she, like, tries to say the word fish, and she starts gagging.
Yeah.
And she's like, I can't even say it. So they go into, like, this, like, cave opening, basically. And it's very pretty.
It's nice. We have, like, they have, like, kind of, like what would be, like lights. Fairy lights strung up, but it's, like, phosphorescent seaweed or whatever. And we see other mermaids. They're all, like, hippies.
Yeah, they're playing hacky sack.
They are.
And the Webby's like, she says, look at this stuff. Isn't it neat?
Yes, it was cute. And as they're swimming, Alethea and Vero are explaining to the family, like, how their community lives, their society. Mm-hmm. How that their whole society is based on truth, finding their own personal truth. And Scrooge at first is disgusted, because bunch of hippie nonsense.
And then Vero is like, but you have to be self-reliant and find it on your own. And he's like, oh, okay. Scrooge is like...
I can vibe with that.
Yeah, but then Alethea is like, and then we give up all our material possessions to live in peaceful harmony. And he's like, oh, God.
He's like, oh, fuck this. Never mind. I'm leaving.
In Mervana, we believe in finding your personal truth.
But you must be self-reliant and find it on your own.
Once found, we give up all material possessions to live in peaceful harmony under the sea.
Well, I see, they surface in this, like, big open air. Mm-hmm. Not quite, it's sort of a cave, I guess.
Yeah.
With, there's a lot of, like, water coming down, waterfalls. It feels like they're in, like, you know, those, like, neon fish tanks.
Ooh, yeah.
Where they got, like the neon rocks and stuff. It feels kind of like that.
Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, they have, like, really colorful stone, like, blue, pink. Mm-hmm. There's, like, drawings. There's, like, really cool patterns. And it's really fun. There's, like, I think, pretty sure, like, ukulele playing at one point.
Yes,
maybe not right now.
someone is, yeah. And they show the family this, I can't think of words. Carving. There we go.
Uh-huh.
This carving showing their history, how their ancestors used to spend equal time on land and sea. Mm-hmm. Until
their leader, which is King Onestus, which I didn't realize until I saw how you spelt it. That it's also a play on honesty.
Yeah, on honest.
On truth, yeah. That he led them down into the water to escape all the troubles of the land.
There's this big statue of him where he's very buff, very, like, wise and serene looking mermaid. Mm-hmm. And Louie very suspiciously is like, and what happened to him?
And, like, Vero and Alethea, they're like, sadly, they're like, oh, well, you know, one day he left to find his own truth, and he's just never come back. So that they claim, you know, they believe that he became one with the ocean. Yeah. And they honor him, and like by they themselves like living their own truth. Then
so Louis is still suspicious of them, of their missing king and all this. But Huey, focused on the harp, asks them, like, "Can you tell us like what happened to it?" And like Alethea says some bullshit on like the truth you seek, like you will find in here. And she puts a hand on Donald's chest, and he's like, "Get the fuck off me!" He literally swats her hand away, which is fun.
And then she's like, "You're on the right path," and I'm like, "No, it's not."
Because they're being honest about their feelings.
Yeah, I guess.
So if we prove ourselves worthy, will we learn the secrets of the harp?
Anything you seek can be found here.
Yes, wonderful! Honesty is the first step to living truthfully.
You are on the right path.
I'll ready the drum circle!
I hate this.
And Scrooge hates this.
Oh yeah, I love it. I love this salty Scrooge. And so Louie, he like gets off because there's like pretty big stones where we see a lot of mermaids are like resting. So Louie goes to walk. and he sees, like, pretty easily behind this, like, waterfall, a cave that says, like, do not enter.
Yeah, it's a very suspicious cave. It's dark and spooky and off to the side. And Webby joins him, and he's, you know, explaining, like, this whole, like, peaceful society, like, there's no way I really believe that that's all there is. There has to be some secret thing going on. Some secret evil thing happening.
Yeah, because he's like, you know, like, there's a priceless harp, and there he calls the mermaids monsters.
Yeah.
And Webby corrects him. He's like, you know, that worship this king.
Yeah.
But these people have also never heard of the harp.
Yeah.
And they also have this, like, he calls it, like, a platform to, like, a sacrificial platform. So he's like, he's saying these things, and Webby's like, no, like, look at him, he's smiling. And like, it's just kind of like a serene face.
It is a serene face. But, Louie is convinced that something is happening. Something else is going on.
Yeah.
And we start to hear, like, bongo drumming while he's talking, and it's because Beakley is standing right there with the bongo drum.
Yeah,
and we see it off in the distance. The drum circle is happening.
Yeah.
Donald and the kids, Huey and Dewey, look pretty happy to be there. Obviously, the mermaids. Scrooge is just pissed. Like, but everyone else is having fun.
Yeah.
Their drum circle.
Olivia's, like, dancing.
Yeah.
Kind of, like, wiggling, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's funny because, like, yeah, like, I love the gags like that where the music is coming from, like, within.
Yes. Yeah, it's not like the soundtrack, it's someone playing the instrument. That's always fun. Because she thinks that Beakley's trying to drown out, I think, Louie's negativity.
These hippies are harmless. He's like, and I should know. I did some undercover work in the 60s. And she's, like, reminiscing. She's like, Operation Flower Power was groovy.
Beakley was getting it on in the 60s is the moral of this episode.
It's the moral of DuckTales. It's like the 60s, 70s were great for Beakley.
They were.
Yeah.
And she, like, literally, like, swans off. It's very funny.
It's a trap! And take it down a notch, Beakley!
I was just trying to drown out your nonsense. These hippies are harmless. I would know. I did some undercover work back in the 60s. Operation Flower Power was groovy.
And so Webby's like, you know, like, if Granny isn't worried, then we're completely fine. But Louie's like, no, like, they're hiding something, and I'm gonna figure it out.
Yeah, because he gestures to the waterfall again, and now we see all these warnings up close. Mm-hmm. And he's like, here be dragons. There's a bunch of, like, skull and crossbones, and the skulls have like, beaks.
Oh.
They're, like, duck skulls. It says, like, stay out. Super serious, my dudes.
I was he for real, not kidding.
So, these mermaids know there's something in there. They're just not dealing with it.
Yeah, that's kind of, like, their thing.
Yeah. So Louie runs in to see what they're hiding. And I thought, I mean, this is a really big difference from Louie in the beginning of the last season.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, completely. Like, here he is running towards danger to keep his family safe.
Yeah, because he's like, you know, like, I need to solve this, figure it out before we get sacrificed to the murderers.
Yeah. Which is fun.
But yeah.
Murderers.
Good on you, Louie, for facing it head on. Maybe you shouldn't do it alone.
Yeah, maybe not do it alone. But, cause, I mean, nobody else believes him, so I get him taking the initiative. Because he sees the patterns. Nobody else seems to notice or care.
Yeah.
But he sees the constant pattern, so he's trying to get ahead of the game this time.
Yeah.
By reveal the big secret before it can be sprung on them, basically.
Yeah.
Like usual. So it is cool to see him running towards adventure and danger when no way he would have done this last season.
Mm-hmm. And so they kind of go off. We go back to the drum circle.
Yes.
So Vero says that it's time to make these ceremonial fins for Arts and Craft Hour.
Arts and Crafts. And Dewey and Donald run off immediately. They're very excited. Dewey wants all of the blue markers.
He, like, smacks Huey.
Yeah, he knocks him
Huey
over.
completely falls. Yeah.
which is very much a sibling thing.
Oh yeah, for
Like
sure.
shoving them to the ground so you can get to whatever it is first.
Or like, I know, I mean, my family has always, with my brother and I, like, oh, you're gonna shower? I immediately have to shower now.
Oh yeah, and it's a race.
Or it's like, I have the towel and you don't have your towel, so you can either go into the shower towelless.
Yeah.
Or you can give me the shower. But yeah.
And
it's cute.
It is cute, definitely. But, so Huey stays to, like, because obviously Scrooge is just, like, annoyed, to kind of convince Scrooge to, you know, get in the spirit of things.
Yeah.
Because maybe if he plays along, they'll tell them where the harp is.
Yeah. Because you have to, like, I guess I don't know if we mentioned it specifically, but, like, if you find your truth, then you can learn all of Mervana's secrets, basically, is what.
They don't specifically say, they don't answer where the harp is or anything about the harp.
No.
They're very vague.
Yeah.
But they're taking it as, oh, hopefully they'll tell us where the harp is.
Mm-hmm. And so we see that they're doing arts and crafts.
Yes. So Scrooge starts drawing on Dewey's.
That's the thing.
Yes.
I hadn't realized until I watched it that, like, Dewey's already been, like, drawing. He's, like, a little kid on the floor drawing.
Yes.
And Scrooge literally draws, like, one thing and then takes it away from him.
No, yeah, he draws the heart with the rainbow, which is cute, and then a little dog, a very cute dog, playing a harp. He, like, raises his hand, he's like, I'm done. This is what I do. He takes it out of Dewey's hand.
Dewey just angrily walks away. And he tells Alethea, like, that he drew a harp on Fluffy Doggy.
Yeah.
And she's like, this is not your truth.
Yeah.
Like, get out of here.
Yeah, because he starts to ask, like, oh, like, speaking of harps, where's yours?
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, you will find all the truth, all the secrets of Mervana by listening to your truth, or whatever. He gets pissed, and he throws the marker in the water.
And literally, like, scolding him, like, please, don't throw toxic markers into your water. And he gets mad, he's like, they're your markers, like, are they toxic?
Yeah, I love it. It's like, they're literally their markers. Where did they get toxic markers? Like they're an isolated community. How?
Yeah.
And if they did go buy toxic markers, why didn't they get the water-safe ones?
But as she
It's on
explains, they're all our markers. And then she kind of sinks into the water and Scrooge is pissed. I love Grumpy Scrooge.
It's always very fun. And so we see Webby and Webby and Louie walking through this cave, and I really do like the with the setting, like how they've made this cave and the whole all of Mervana look. It's like, so in the cave it's like these big stones that they're walking across, like these single circular stones. And Webby is telling Louie, like, there's no way the Mervanans are evil, or what did she say specifically? That
she says that, well, she explains to Louie that the only reason she's coming along is to prove that these mer people, like, aren't liars, and that King Onestus, like, cared about his people.
And then they hear a mysterious voice out of the darkness saying no, like singing no, that's a lie. That's a lie.
Yeah, that the King Onestus specifically is fibbing. And Louie's like, like, this mysterious voice gets it.
Only coming along to prove the mer people aren't liars and that Onestus cared about his kingdom.
No. King Onestus is fibbing.
Ha! See? Mysterious voice in the darkness gets it.
As they start climbing, we start to see more what resembles ruins instead of like a normal cave setup.
Yeah, and there's like actual bones, like skulls and bones.
Yes, because what we have to say, like, oh, look, see, there's nothing here. Just some rocks and some seaweed.
Like
and the bones of the last people who came to Mervana. Because, there are very much skulls.
Yeah.
And some miscellaneous bones.
Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden from the dark, this, like, creature appears. They
Yes.
called it like a sea serpent.
Which is fun.
Yeah.
Well,
But it has arms.
It has arms. There's a lot of sea serpent lore. We can call it a sea serpent.
Yeah.
It's big, 100%. It's
yeah.
It has like...
It's like a fish that's like really buff in the arms. A fish had arms.
Yes, if fish had arms, it would be the buffest of them all.
Yeah.
Because it looks almost humanoid. It has like wristbands and like spiky almost hair, it looks like.
Yeah. Kind of like almost like a beard.
Yeah.
And it has like really big sharp teeth and like glowing green eyes.
Yeah.
And it's terrifying.
Oh, has this dude been eating people?
Oh, I think so.
Oh, that's a problem.
Yeah.
We'll think about that.
Is it considered cannibalism? Yeah, right?
I mean, technically, yeah.
Fish are fucked up. Fish will
This
just eat other
this is a problem to think about for later. Because there are bones in this cave.
Yeah, and they're like duck people bones.
Yes, they're not like fish bones. These are people.
Yeah.
Some skeletons. I didn't think about that before now. Like
Me
where
either. I hate
the
it.
bones came from. Think about that later. So
yeah.
Webby and Louie are running because this thing is chasing them. Like it's chasing them. It's like jumping, like it's following them through the water, and it can like crawl on land and move very quickly.
Yeah, and Louie's like to Webby, like, I told you this was a trap, and she's like, well, technically it's a chase, not a trap.
We don't know that the Mervanans are responsible for this horrible sea monster that wants to eat us.
And then they end up at a dead end. And she's like, well, it's still not a trap.
Yeah.
Just like Webby.
So this thing is poised to eat them. When seaweed rope comes down, wraps around the both of them, and yanks them back up.
Yeah.
And it's Beakley.
Yeah. And Louie's like, I've never been happier to see an adult.
Yeah. And so she's laying on a ledge above them, and we watch the sea monster growl one more time and then crawl away.
And so now, like, Webby's like, wait, like, now that they're, like, safe, they're like, Granny, like, what are you doing here, basically? Louie is basically, like, saying, like, Beakley is also here to figure out, like, that these people are hiding something.
Yeah.
And Webby's like, no, like, she looks really sad. And she's like, no, like, let's just be positive, okay? Like, maybe the Mervanans think that they're telling us the truth. Like, they also don't know that there's, like, this creature in here as well.
And Beakley at first is like, oh, I'm sure that's what's happening. Very reassuring Webby that her very optimistic outlook might be true. Of course that might be true.
Yeah.
And when Webby wanders off, Beakley grabs Louie like the Mervanans are up to something, and we have to find out what.
Yeah. She's covering Louie's beak, and he, like, kind of, like, raises his arms in, like, a yes.
Yeah, like, victory, like, very vindictive, like.
Because she said, like, Beakley says, like, Webby believes the best in all the people, especially, like, mer people.
Yeah.
And if she finds out, like, that they've been lying, that they, murderous, like, mer people, then she's gonna be devastated.
But Louie is insisting that she can't keep the truth from her. That she deserves to know. They can't be keeping these secrets from her. But Beakley's fighting him on this. And I think it's interesting that we see Beakley and Louie's different perspectives on this. Because he's insisting that she know the truth, that she's strong enough to handle it. But we see Beakley wants to protect her innocence, basically. Her innocence, her positivity, her optimism, that it's Webby's strength. And it is. But Beakley, I think, is afraid of anything that could damage that. Meanwhile, Louie, who, we know, has always seen stuff from a more pessimistic angle.
It's important for her to know, like, the dangers around her, like, the truth of the situation around her.
Yeah. That keeping her in the dark won't help her.
Yeah. And he insists, like, you can't hide the truth from her. And Beakley's like, boy, I did keep her in a mansion for 10 years.
Yeah, and that worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
This episode is, like I said, a very standard adventure episode, except for the Beakley and Webby plotline.
Yeah.
And this specific we see here in the beginning here. So first we know Webby's age, more or less. She's at least 10 or 11, like the boys. And she has lived in the mansion most, if not her entire life.
Yeah.
And we see again here, Beakley was intentionally keeping her there. Mm-hmm. We still don't know why.
Exactly.
It's the same thing with her trying to protect Webby's optimism. She was trying to protect Webby herself.
Yeah.
For all that time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and yeah, so same thing. It's interesting to see from the different perspectives, just especially how Louie grew up, having to be more independent, being more aware of the dangers in the world, even even before they moved in with Scrooge. Real world.
Exactly. Like
problems.
They're probably very aware of like Donald's situation.
Yeah.
Their home situation. They didn't have the privilege of not knowing.
Yeah.
Webby, it's like, it's not even her choice, like she doesn't know, but it's not really her fault.
Yeah, it's been kept from her. She was kept from the world.
Yeah.
And so she was kept from all that inherent danger and evil. Even growing up knowing about spies and all these bad guys, she didn't face any of it.
Yeah. So I like that they bring up again the fact that she was in this mansion for 10 years.
Yeah, because we've been wondering.
Yeah. And so they're kind of discussing this, and Webby interrupts them. She comes back. She's like, "What are you guys talking about?" And then basically Beakley's like, "Oh, how much we love you." And
Louie at first is like, "The plan. I mean, how much we love you."
Granny, what are you doing here?
Same thing we are, snooping.
No, I was just meditating.
About how these people are obviously hiding something?
Okay, let's be positive here. Maybe the noble Mervanans think they're telling the truth and they just don't know.
Yes, Webby, I'm sure that's it. This is all some wacky mix-up. We'll sort it out. Lead the way. Something is going on here. But we can't tell Webby until we know what. That girl believes the best in people, especially mer people. If she finds out they're lying, she'll be devastated.
And if she doesn't, she'll be fish food.
Her optimism is her strength.
You can't hide the truth from her.
I kept her in a mansion for a decade. That worked out pretty well.
What are you whispering about?
How much we love you, darling.
How much we love you.
And then Webby aw, and she's like, "I love you too," and then kind of hug.
Yeah, she drags them both down into a hug, which is cute.
Yeah. She's a very sweet girl.
Mm-hmm.
I get really sad when she gets sad.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness. And I'm really, really, really glad to see a Webby and Beakley episode, because we haven't gotten much of that.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, I feel like we're setting up something here.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's all gonna come apart.
Yep. We'll see how the episode continues.
Mm-hmm.
And so we go back to the arts and crafts circle. And we see all that Scrooge has done for his tail is big or do or draw a big red dollar sign. Mm-hmm. And Vero does not approve.
No. And Huey gets approved because he just kind of paints it red and does the Junior Woodchuck
That's his
symbol.
truth.
Yeah, that's his truth, of course.
But Donald...
It's like Donald also is sitting on a higher
yes,
what's it called?
Like a pedestal almost.
Pedestal, yeah. And it's light blue with kind of teal and pink stripes all around it.
Yeah.
And just yellow dots.
It's very cute.
Yeah. And both Alethea and Vero are super impressed.
Yes, their eyes go all sparkly. He's also sitting in like a shaft of sunlight. Yeah. And so he's sparkling, and they're oh my goodness.
I think Alethea is Donald Duck, we just met, but this is your soul. Yeah. And Donald Duck does the namaste pose. Yeah. He's very zen right now.
Yes, he's enlightened. Arts and crafts has helped him reach enlightenment.
Honestly.
That's fair. I'm the same.
Same, except for that one time we went to the Bob Ross paint-along.
No, that was so stressful. He goes way too fast.
It was so bad. I literally remember turning around and he had squirrels in his hands.
live squirrels in his hands. And we're like, wait, where the fuck did the squirrels come from? Do we need to get squirrels now?
I remember because we were like a group of people like that we didn't know, and I was like, oh no, he's got squirrels now. And literally, like, one of, like, the assistants, like, the helper, she was like, do you guys want to, like, do another one? We're like, can you just repeat the one we just watched?
Yeah, just go from the beginning.
Half of us aren't done.
No. Oh my goodness.
But
the squirrels.
But I love kind of Dewey's fins.
Yeah, he has racing fins, as he says.
He literally does the classic, like, flame Hot Wheel design.
Yeah. Which is really cute. I love that. But he's very excited. He's going to show Della his cool racing fins. But, like, he can't quite, like, get around in them.
Yeah.
It's like he's in a potato sack.
Yeah. He's, like, jumping. And he's like, well, I can't really go fast. And he, like, I don't know, like, he, like, ends up stumbling and he just kind of falls into the water.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, here I go. Like,
it was very cute. And we see Webby, Beakley, and Louie are following the singing and the music again into, like, this big, because as we said, we started to see ruins, and now we are inside, like, it's like a massive stone, like, staircase.
Yeah.
Basically like a tower. They're inside of it.
And, like, Louie just collapses at the sight of all those stairs.
Yeah, same. Because these stairs go round and round and round 100 feet up to the top. And which is interesting contrast to the cave where the Mervanans live, which looks just like a cave.
Yeah.
Or a pretty one, but like a cave with, like, natural formations, natural cave formations. But here we see the ruins of, like, a castle.
Yeah. And so we go back to Della, who's just kind of...
She's playing tic-tac-toe alone.
Did she lose against herself?
Yeah, she loses.
She loses, yeah. She gets mad. And then she's like, this is stupid. Like, I should be out there with my family. But then...
As Dewey, like, crawls out through, like, the entrance hatch, dripping in water and seaweed and showing off his cool fin.
And literally, Della, she, like goes to, like, gag, and she's like, I have no family. So we go back to, I guess it's not a drum circle anymore, arts and crafts.
Yeah. Because we see Alethea and Vero saying that how Huey and Donald have done well.
Yeah.
But Scrooge's negative energy is, like, harshing their vibe.
Yeah. And I love the way Alethea says that they can't find their inner truth because of Scrooge.
Yes.
And Scrooge says he doesn't want inner truth, he wants outer harp.
Yeah.
And so basically Alethea says, like, until we all achieve our truth, like, you're not going to find the knowledge you seek.
Yeah. It's like, Scrooge, back to the arts and crafts circle.
And you really have to see it because I love his stupid enraged face.
His jaw, like, drops. He's so outraged that he's being sent back to the arts and crafts.
Life is a journey, not a destination.
You are all worthy of the truth of Mervana, except you.
What?
Your negative and judgmental attitude is exactly what's stopping you from finding your inner truth.
I don't want inner truth. I want outer harp.
Until you all achieve your truth, you will not find the knowledge you seek. Scrooge, back to the arts and crafts section.
And so we go back to the tower, and Webby's kind of like skipping her way up.
Yeah, down up these crumbling stairs.
Yeah.
And Louie almost falls to his death when the stairs under him give way.
Yeah.
And Beakley only just catches him.
Yeah. And so he, like, holds on to her arm, basically.
Yeah, he's clinging to her. It's really... It's cute. We did not mention, this is an error on our part, the knife Beakley has strapped to her thigh.
Yes.
That's on us. It's a very important addition.
Beakley looks great as always.
Of course she does. And so they reach the top. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting. It's they're at the top of this tower, but there is like stone path and these overgrown trees, but it's also full of water. Yeah. Which is fun.
It's like pools. It's very cool. Mm-hmm. I want to make that into my... Literally cannot stop thinking about Animal Crossing. I want to do something like that.
Go for it. Love it. That's really fun, actually.
Yeah. Louie says, that these stairs were a mess. And then they hear that voice again. And she's like... She has a very sing-songy voice. She's like, correct. Like, I told King Onestus that he needed to fix the stairs, but that he didn't listen.
Yeah. And we see this, something covered by a sheet on the other side of this, crumbling walkway. And it's moving, so they head over to it. And it is the harp.
She's a very nice-looking lady harp.
Yes.
like Webby says, part harp, part lady, part mermaid. The most amazing whole thing she's ever seen.
Yes. And the harp is voiced by Retta, I think best known from Parks and Rec. Yeah, she does a very good job.
Yeah. She's very... we're not gonna do the sing-songy voice.
Oh, God, no. I'm not even gonna try that, but, it's the latest DuckTales character that formerly existed in 1987 that they have made not white.
Hell
So, awesome.
And she's, like, a full size.
Like, the size of, like, a lady. Like, an actual harp, because harps are massive.
Yeah, and, like, so, basically, like, kind of like the old-fashioned, like, mermaid in front of, like, a ship.
Yeah.
Design. And then her hair is, like, in a kind of, like, braidish kind of. It's, like, the arc of the harp.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Those stairs were a mess.
Correct! I told King Onestus we needed to repair them, but did he listen? No. He didn't want to hear the truth. Which is what I offer.
Part harp, part lady, part mermaid! This is the most amazing whole thing I've ever seen.
Oh, thank you. Correct!
And so the harp is based on the magical harp from the DuckTales 1987 episode, Raiders of the Lost Harp. Mm-hmm. That is Season 1, Episode 43. This episode takes some turns. I watched it to refresh my memory. That episode opens, fair warning if you want to watch it, with a racist depiction of some probably Middle Eastern diggers, because they're at a dig site, Scrooge's dig site. Mm-hmm. And the diggers are of Middle Eastern descent, vaguely.
Yeah.
And just, it's a racist depiction of them, because that's all DuckTales, does. 1987. I say this with all the love. Because in that episode, Scrooge is looking to find the lost city of Troy. And he does find it. Spoiler alert, the lost city of Troy has not been lost since 1870, I believe, when it was actually discovered in real life.
Oh.
And I looked it up. I'm like, Troy exists in real life, right? Homer didn't make that up too, right?
Yeah.
So yes, it exists. Its modern day location is in Turkey.
Ooh.
It's a little Easter egg. And so they find the harp, I say in quotes, because it's a lyre. Did you get it?
We made a great joke about this, like, last time we talked.
It's a lyre, like, the musical instrument, and it detects lies.
Yeah.
It would have been such a good joke if they called it a lyre.
Exactly.
100%.
But we called it a lyre, and I literally told Anna to write the joke down.
I did. But yeah, they call it a harp, even though it is the size of a lyre. Mm-hmm. It's small. And in the original series, it's a white lady duck, tiny, like doll size, on this harp, this lyre. It's, even though it's sentient, nobody treats it sentient, and Scrooge keeps it locked in a drawer and wants to use it to make sure that his executives, that business competitors can't lie to him. and so or that the nephews, that nobody can lie to him, and it's just one of the many examples of DuckTales 1987 treating humanoid items or things that are alive, treating them as objects. Yeah, because it's clearly like it's like a lady on this tiny harp who like talks, but nobody treats it like it's like a sentient, living magical thing.
They kind of like, if I remember correctly, I feel like they treat her like you would do like those like, oh my god, what are they called, like musical boxes kind of?
Yeah,
kind of just like that.
It's similar to how Genie is actually treated in the 1990 DuckTales, the movie Treasure of the Lost Lamp, but except there it's explicit, where Scrooge says that a genie isn't a person, a genie is a thing. Yikes. Which is rough, and they're not as explicit with that in the episode Raiders of the Lost Harp, but it is very much in how the harp itself is treated, and that it's not treated as a sentient object, sentient person. They treat it like an object.
Very good, sir. Have you given any thought to my raise, sir?
Huh? Oh, yes. I certainly have, Duckworth.
You are fidding.
There it goes again.
Very strange, sir, but about the raise.
Well, I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I just can't afford to.
No. You are fidding.
It seems to do that when you, tell a fib, sir.
Yes, I've had the same thought.
In the original episode, this magical harp used to belong to Helen of Troy, until it was lost, and then Scrooge found it again. And the episode ends with like a giant stone minotaur that's 50 feet tall, following them from Troy, underwater, and coming to attack the city of Duckburg, and they beat it by releasing all of the gum in Scrooge's bubblegum factory to trap it, and then giving the harp back to it. I didn't actually finish watching the episode. I'm realizing now.
You could have also asked me if this was a real plot, and I would have not known. It's been a long time since I watched this episode.
Yeah, it also has Magica disguising herself as Helen of Troy to get the harp and coming on to Scrooge. So
I hate it.
That also happens. She does not disguise her voice.
But as we know, Scrooge just does not, like, see people.
No.
He doesn't recognize anyone.
He doesn't recognize the Beagle Boys, his most well-known enemies, when they are wearing fake mustaches and bad suits. So
it's on him.
So watch Raiders of the Lost Harp if you're so inclined.
So basically, now that they found her, Webby's like, can you tell Louie that there's nothing sinister happening below the water? And the harpist, she's like, I can't, because that's a lie, and I only tell the truth. Mm-hmm. And she's very like, something that the mer people used to value. And so Beakley just says, like, can you tell us the truth about what's happening here?
And she does. Oh, totally. And she sings it, which is very fun.
So, could you tell us the truth about what happened here?
Once upon a time it used to be, the mer people were creatures of land and sea, until the day when Nestus became king, and I by his side hard truths I would sing. I agree hunting in the water is fun, but the truth is there's work on the land to be done. He just laughed and ignored my cries, saying, what's that? I don't listen to bummer news, bye. Until the day I told my sea-loving master, hiding from the truth has led to disaster. But he rolled his eyes and shook his head.
Ugh, whatever, brah. Gonna find my own truth instead.
The mer people needed a leader, but he thought it was better to flee. So he ran from his kingdom, the truth and me. He left me in this tower, truth far from his ears, that likely became gills after all the the longer the mer people stay under the sea, the more monstrous their bodies grow to be.
And we see in her song that, so King Anestus became king, however many years ago. Who knows how long the Mervanans live?
I feel like it's been like
centuries, right?
Decades, centuries, yeah.
Because the whole like city falls into the ocean, or this whole civilization.
Yeah.
Because we see however many years ago, the Mervanans split their time between the land and sea. Mm-hmm. And their castle, we see now, is only a tower in the sticking out of the water. It used to be an entire palace, or like a kingdom. It used to be a kingdom.
And it's kind of like, it's like a mountain kind of. It's like this mountain-looking thing, and the castle's in between, and there's like water inside.
Yeah.
It's
surrounded by this mountain, and then in the middle, the middle of this open space inside, with where the water is this kingdom. Mm-hmm. And then when Anestus became king, he stopped taking responsibility for the land portion of the kingdom, like keeping the kingdom itself afloat.
Mm-hmm. Because she says, like, I used to tell him harsh truth, and he just, like, he wanted nothing to do with it. Because we see them, like, inside of that tower. It looks very nice. She's still in her same, like, pedestal that she is. And he's, like, swimming in there. And he kind of, like, I mean, he looks very familiar.
Yes. And I love because we saw Anestus' statue, and the actual guy is not quite as buff.
No,
his voice is very funny.
It's very funny. He's very like, because she tells him that there's work to be done. Like, yeah, we can have fun, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And he's like, he laughs at her, and he's like, I don't listen to bummer news. And he has like a very up there.
It's very nasal. It's so funny. But that he ignored her advice, ignored her truth. Mm-hmm. And let his kingdom fall into disrepair because it was too much. It was too much hard work to do anything about it.
And we see, like, she kind of like goes through like just kind of the transformation. Like the water's like murky, like those like trees, like the roots are like kind of disrupting like the stone. Yeah. It's very dark now, and she's like you need to do something, and he still doesn't want to. No. So what he does instead is that he, like, tells the people that he's going to go find his own truth.
Yeah, but he's running away.
Yeah.
Because things got so bad, and he's like, oh shit, it's my fault, so I'm just gonna run away now. Mm-hmm. And we see, as the years go by, the kingdom falls literally into disrepair. It falls into the ocean.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, without him... Because it looks like his people followed in his footsteps. Even though they're seeking truth, they don't do anything about their crumbling kingdom. Yeah. And they, once he's gone, they continue to let it fall into disrepair and fall into the ocean.
Yeah. And they're spending most of their time underwater. And so the harp, she sings that that she was left in the tower, so nobody could hear her anymore. Mm-hmm. No one knew that she was there anymore. And she says that, like, that the long... Because we see, like, Anestus kind of swimming, and then she says, like, the longer mer people stay underwater, the more monstrous they become. So then when he kind of comes out of this, like, kind of, like, debris, we see that, like, sea serpent creature.
Yeah.
And, yeah... It's been him the whole time.
It's been him. So, however long he's been down there, it turned him into this. Mm-hmm. Which is interesting. Like, whatever magic made these people, they need to split their time equally between the land and sea. Otherwise, one portion consumes the other.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they, like, lose their humanity.
Yeah, like, isn't that, like, a thing with, like, werewolves? Maybe, I don't remember specifically, but it's, like, the fear of not being able to turn back because you get consumed.
Yeah.
It might be like an animal it might be an Animorphs thing. I read a couple Animorphs books.
It is similar to the werewolf type thing, like getting stuck in one form.
Yeah, and I think it is an Animorphs thing, like where if you like let that thing consume you, you're not going to be able to turn back, or you'll get stuck like halfway, which is even worse.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, you know, they kind of get out of this flashback. And yeah, like, Beakley's like, it's been King Anestus the whole time.
Like, oh shit.
And she's like, correct. But Beakley says, like, so you really don't know, like, if they are gonna feed us. Like, if they know that that's King Anestus.
And they're gonna feed us to their monster king.
Yeah. And she's like, I have no idea. And Webby is like, Granny, like, you don't really believe that, right? And Beakley goes to say, like, oh, of course not, dear. Like, I don't believe that.
But the harp calls her out on it because she's lying.
Yeah. And so Beakley tries to, like, backtrack a little, and she's like, well, like, even if they did know, like, I believe that there's good in people. And
she's lying again.
Yeah. And she's like, I believe that people are trying to be good.
Again, she's lying! Which, woof, Beakley, that's a rough take on the world.
Yeah. And she kind of, like, breaks at this point.
Yeah.
And she turns to the harp, and she's like, what do you want me to say? Like, that people lie, and that I don't believe that you can believe, like, everyone, like, not that not everyone has, like, good intentions. And she's like, that I lie to my granddaughter.
And to which, I mean, Webby is, devastated by this.
So you have no idea if the mer people are going to feed us all to their monster king?
Correct! No clue. Oh, they definitely are.
Granny, you don't think that's true, do you?
Of course not, dear.
She's fibbing.
That is to say, even if they did know, I believe there's a little good in everyone.
She's fibbing.
I believe people are trying to be good.
She's fibbing.
What do you want me to say? That people often lie? That I don't think you should trust anyone, especially not a pack of murder maids? That I lie to my granddaughter?
Granny? You lied to me?
Oh, Webby, dear, I don't want to lie. I just want to protect you from the hard truth that in this world, not everyone means well.
Sorry, but...
Correct!
Yeah. Like, there's just the fact that Beakley lies to her a lot. She just did it a bunch right there.
Yeah.
And I really like this moment just because, Beakley's a spy. Like, her ability to lie is, like, number one. Even if it is to her granddaughter. And we see here she literally can't. There's someone calling her out on each lie every single time.
Yeah.
And so she can't keep away from the truth in this moment because someone's literally there calling her out each time.
Yeah.
And so it was interesting to see Beakley snap like that.
And she just, like, she tells Webby, like, that she doesn't want to lie, that she wants to protect Webby, you know, from this hard truth, and that, like, people in the world sometimes don't mean well.
Yeah.
And, you know, the harp is like, you know, it sucks, but you're right. Like, it's the truth of life, you know? And that's really sad.
Yeah.
Especially to Webby, who sees the best in everyone.
Yes.
You know? But... poor Webby.
I think especially devastating for her because Beakley's been the one encouraging her optimism this whole time. And to realize now that Beakley's been lying to her this whole time whenever she's encouraged that.
And it's like, what else, basically? Like, what else have you been lying about?
Yeah. Yeah, and Louie's like, all right, well, we need to get the harp down before these people like feed us to their monster king.
So yeah, we end there tragically.
Yes.
But yeah, like, I really like this scene because it's just like, I like Beakley being expressive.
Yeah,
even though it's a shitty situation.
It is. Definitely. Like, Beakley not, I guess, I don't know if being out of her comfort zone, but being challenged.
Yeah. Yeah, because so, like, for the most part, she is the one challenging, like, Della, Scrooge even, you know, like, she's, like, the standard.
Yeah.
And so for her to have this double standard, it's like, okay, this is gonna have to come, like, bite her in the ass even harder.
Yes.
As you can see. So we go back to the group trying to reach enlightenment.
Yes. Donald's already there, so he's good.
Yeah.
But we see Scrooge hops back up. He hasn't done anything to his tail, his fin. But he goes, he's like, I apologize. I am ready to accept the oneness of the universe.
Because Alethea and Vero have basically, like, said Huey and Dewey are ready to go.
Yeah.
I was wrong, so wrong. Please give me another chance to live truthfully.
Scrooge McDuck, are you ready to embrace the oneness of the many?
Yeah, that'd be totally righteous.
Are you prepared to seek the truth within?
Peace and love, follow your bliss.
Are you willing to give up all of your worldly possessions?
Sure, you can have my money. When you pry it from my cold, dead hands.
The delivery is very fun.
I love David Tennant's delivery of that.
Yes. We see, like, the veins pop out of his neck.
He is, like, pissed. He's like, I cannot ignore, like, all the hard work that so many people, like, put into things for some touchy-feely love fest dude.
Yeah. But the mermaids are glad. They're like, this is your truth. You've done it. Like,
Vero literally thanks him.
Yeah.
He's like, that is your truth. Thank you.
And they put, like, this, like, shell necklace around his neck. And he's like, oh, awesome, great, cool. Where's the harp?
And Vero is like, we don't know.
Yeah.
But we do believe that one day Onestus is going to return. And then he'll tell us all the secrets of Mervana.
Yeah.
And I love Huey. Because he's like, well, could that day be today? Or later today?
Can you arrange that for us?
And Vero's like, time is a construct.
And like, oh, god damn it.
Which, honestly, I feel. I don't know what day it
Oh,
is.
yeah, who knows? Who knows? But, so back in the tower, Louie's trying to pick up the harp to no avail. Mm-hmm. And so Beakley just, picks it up, puts her on her shoulder. God, I wish that were me.
Same.
Because Beakley's carrying her down the stairs. Mm-hmm. And I love this moment, because the harp's just like, oh, you're very strong.
and Beakley's like, correct.
Yeah. Like, yes, I'm aware.
Yeah. And so we see that Louie starts to drag Webby down these steps. Because
literally.
She's just like, yeah. And we didn't mention it, but we do get to see Della try to convince herself to, like, go with the family. But then, like, she says the word fish, and she's really proud of herself for not gagging. Mm-hmm. But then she, like, sees, like, something moving in the water.
Yeah, we see this.
So she goes back.
Yeah, we see the massive shadow of King Anestus pass underneath the sub. She's like, fuck this, bye. And she, like, throws herself back inside the submarine.
So, yeah, and then we go back to Louie, who's still dragging Webby.
So he's, like, literally dragging her because she has lost all motivation, all hope, because of this revelation.
Yeah.
That there's no goodness in anyone. Why bother trying?
Yeah, she's like, why try to, like, live in this world where mermaids are, like, murderers and grandmas are liars and there's no goodness in the world. And she's like, oh boy. And Louie's like, is that what I sound like? Oh boy.
Yeah.
He's like, oh god.
Oh boy. The little sound he makes is just cute.
Yeah.
Because Webby's kind of sliding down this rock face, and she drags Louie with her, and they fall down to this cavern filled with water. And Anestus is there waiting for them.
Like, Louie even, like, quicker drags her. And he manages to, like, get to the opening and back to where the rest of the family is.
And, again, I love the setup of the cave, because the water is, like, ankle deep. And so they have to, like, splash through it as they're running. It's like a fun detail to add.
Yeah.
And so they run through the waterfall, and Webby's still just lying on the ground.
And I love this because Louie says, their king is coming, and they all cheer, because, I mean, they don't know what's happening.
No, God.
Like, no, stop.
Stop cheering. It's not a good thing. He's gonna eat us.
And Olivia hears that, and she's like, we would never.
Yeah.
We're vegan.
Yeah, of course they are. Well, at least that clarifies that. At least they don't eat fish.
Oh, yeah.
God. So Bubbles, like, appear behind Vero. I love stupid fart in the water joke. But no, it's their king. And everyone acts, all the mermaids, or the Mervanans, are terrified of this. And I'm wondering, like, did they know this thing was here? Or did someone in their past know he was there and make all those signs? I don't know.
I feel like it's probably been, because I think later they mentioned, like, or someone mentioned generations.
Yes. Yeah.
Generations have happened. So I feel like these people are not the same people.
No. Yeah, no.
That were. So I don't think they knew. So,
right,
so
okay.
like you said, I think someone in their past knew that there was something in the water.
Yeah. And put all those warnings up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they definitely are not the ones who were around when Anestus disappeared. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they're definitely like a later generation who have been living in the water.
Yeah.
For most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they don't know where the harp is.
Yeah.
Because if they had been around, they would know she's up in the tower.
Yeah, I don't even think they know, like, really what the harp is.
Yeah, no, yeah, and they can't get to it because they never leave the water. You have to climb. Mm-hmm. There's stairs.
Yeah, and, like, the stairs are covered by a tunnel that says, don't go in here.
Yeah.
So they probably don't.
Yeah.
You know, so. Yeah, they're terrified.
Yeah,
also, he's really scary.
Yes, he's huge.
He looks like a catfish.
Yes, he does. Yes, that's what he is. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, no, there's some Mervanans are flopping through the air and back into the water like fish.
I hate it.
It's really funny. Because I'm trying to think, it's tracing them, which is horrifying.
So we see that, like, once again, Scrooge is useless in a fight.
Yeah.
Because he tries. Well, the thing is, like, he's like, still wants to know where the harp is.
Yeah, so he's like still demanding it of like the sea monster. And then Beakley comes through from the cave holding the harp.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you serpentine sovereign, where's the harp?
Right here.
I have so many questions.
I can't get around these friends.
Also correct.
The Anestus, the sea monster, is still, chasing everyone. And so Dewey turns to Donald, who is lounging in the lap of the statue of King Anestus. They're like, could you help us out here? It's a sea monster.
And Donald is literally like, peace and love.
Peace and love. So yeah, they need to trigger his anger. They need to, gotta get his head in the game.
That stupid song in my head.
You're welcome.
Oh God, Dewey.
Uncle Donald, it's time to use that famous anger of yours and save us. Oh man. You know your famous chili we say we love? It's just okay.
Is enraged.
Yes, he sits up, his face goes red, and he jumps and midair with a kick he tears the tail open. As the sea monster is clinging to the statue of Anestus, and he jumps up and punches this thing in the face.
Yeah, and just drop kicks him to the water.
Yeah.
I think he picks up Dewey.
Yes, he throws him over his shoulder.
Yeah, and drags Huey with the other hand.
Yeah.
Away.
Yes. It was nice to see the return of Dad Donald.
I love that.
Picking up the kids. And Scrooge is like hopping after them. Just climb out of the fucking potato sack, dude.
Oh, I hate potato sack races.
Oh yeah, God. Awful.
I'm like, I feel like such an idiot.
So you want me to fucking hop in this? Fuck off. Gosh, fall flat on my face.
So yeah, so then we have, we see Louie and Webby enter this, like, cave. And we also see, Alethea and Vero, who come out of, like, this, like, kind of, like
an underwater tunnel thing.
Yeah. And everyone's kind of bummed right now. Vero is, like, upset because their king, like, finally came back, but he tried to eat them.
Yeah.
Which confirms that he's been eating.
Oh, you're right. Oh, God. He's been eating his citizens.
Oh, no.
For years. Like, have Mervanans just gone missing?
I think so.
And, like,
then.
they got eaten?
Because you would assume that, like, they have, like, a long, like, lifespan. Because King Onestes is still alive.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's one of those, like, if you're elderly, you just, like, walk into the cave tunnel and then you never come back.
What the hell? I hate that. I hate that you thought of that lore.
That's the lore.
God.
It's canon.
Because we said it. God. Yeah, so yeah, they're bummed. And Alethea's upset because, like, their whole society turned out to be a lie. Like, it created a monster.
And so Webby's like, join the club. Like, we all need to face the truth that, like, the world and everything in it is terrible.
Yeah. There's no point in hoping or looking for the best in anything.
Mm-hmm.
And we see here Louie has to take on the role of Webby, basically, of being the optimist.
Yeah. And he tells, like, Alethea and Vero, like, the world that they have imagined, like, it's still possible. And they're like, no, like, it's not, because, like, our world led to a monster. And Webby's like, we are all monsters on the inside. And so, no, like, Louie explains that, like, the king himself, like, he turned himself into a monster.
Yeah.
But, you know, they aren't him.
Mm-hmm.
And they've built this society that's based on truth. And the truth is that he's like, he kind of like reluctantly says like the next part, he's like, you don't need Mervana to be good because Mervana isn't a place. It's in your heart.
Yeah, and he's like, ugh, I need to say it's true, but I hate to say it because it's so corny.
And Webby is like, do you really believe that? Like, or you just like,
is it just a con? Like, are you just trying to get them to help you?
Mm-hmm.
But he does tell her, like, someone taught me you always need to see the best in people.
Mm-hmm.
And Webby's like, oh, that was me. It was nice to see this bonding between them, having to switch their roles.
Yeah.
With Louie, who is usually so pessimistic about everything, having to encourage Webby, having to be the one to point out the bright side, basically.
Yeah.
Stop! The king turned himself into a monster, but you're not him. You built a society based on truth, and the truth is, you don't need Mervana to be good, because Mervana isn't a place. It's... oh boy. It's in your heart.
Do you actually believe that, or is it just another con?
Somebody once told me that you have to look for the best in people, and not assume the worst.
That was me.
So we have Webby, who's like, she like gets up and she like faces, ready for her name, Alethea and Vero. Like, you know, like we need to get your inner truth to move from your hearts to your fists.
Yes. So they need to fight Onestes. Because we see that he has the family backed up basically against the waterfall. The waterfall's behind them.
Mm-hmm.
And he's preparing to, eat them or whatever.
Yeah, one does.
Yes, as one does, as a sea monster does.
Mm-hmm.
And Alethea and Vero, they pop up. She, like, with her tail, whacks him in the face.
Yeah.
And then Vero punches him.
Yeah, and they're, like, funny. Like, Alethea says that, like, his life lacks balance.
Yes.
And Vero just welcomes him to Mervana, because then we see the rest of the mer people like come out and like start to attack.
Yeah.
But they're kind of still like outmatched.
Yeah, because it's like a sea monster, and these are a bunch of hippies. So I mean, they're doing their best. But the family runs. They run through the cave up to the top of the tower, and Anestus is. Oh, and we see that Anestus roars after them. And he was actually speaking, because the harp understands him and answers his question.
Because I guess he asked her, like, where were they?
Yeah.
And the harp says, like, we hear her say, like, over here. And she's like, oh, I have to answer. Like, I have to say the truth.
Yeah. So I guess, like, a clue, an indication that he's still somehow, his mind is still somehow in there.
Yeah.
A part of it is. But so, like I said, they climb to the very top of the tower, and Anestus is throwing himself against the base of it to make it collapse.
Yeah. And
so their only way out is to jump from the top of the tower into the water outside of the castle.
And then swim to the shore.
Yeah.
And the harp is like, correct, and everyone's like, we get it. Like.
And so they all jump, but Anestus is right behind them. So the mermaids, we see the Mervanans come back and help have them get on their backs so they can swim them to shore much quicker.
Yeah. And we see that, like, because King Anestus, like, jumps out of the tower, and the tower is already crumbling, like, even more as they're doing this. So not only is Anestus, like, behind him, but, like, the tower is, like, falling as they're going to the shore.
And it lands on him. Like a big chunk of the tower cracks off and lands directly on him, and it drags him down.
Yeah.
And so they're all able to get to the shore. And even like the Mervanans, they climb out of the water.
Yeah.
And we see that their tails turn into legs. And then they all immediately start flopping on the sand like
fish out of water.
Like fish out of water, just flopping around, and it's very funny.
Yeah, because we see like their like legs are still like scaly, and then like it like retracts, and it's kind of like majestic because we see them take some steps.
It's like the Little Mermaid, like like they're walking on land for the first time, but no, their legs immediately give out. Because who knows when, if ever, they've ever walked on land.
Yeah, probably not. It's like they're like the newest generation.
Yeah.
And then, so immediately we see like King Anestus like breach the water and like kind of goes to attack, I guess.
Looking very beat up from the giant stone pillar falling on him. And we see Della has also parked the sub at the shore. Because she comes running at Anestus and kicks him right in the face.
Yeah, she says that it's time to send this fish back to school.
Yeah. Classic.
And she immediately regrets it, because she's kind of proud of herself after she does that, because she just touched the fish, and she's like, oh no, I touched a gross fish. And it's...
And because she kicked Anestus with her prosthetic leg, and so she takes it off and like sniffs it. She's like, "Oh God, it smells like fish now."
Yeah, and then a kind of what I consider a gross scene.
Yes,
we see like Anestus turn back into like
it's gross.
It's really gross.
His teeth fall out.
Yeah.
And then he looks almost like a puffer fish. Like his face like is getting like yanked backwards.
Yeah. I hate it.
Yeah, it's gross. And so because he finally I guess is on land officially, he turns back into, a duck humanoid person. And seemingly with little change to his personality, and I'm like, dude, I think you ate some people. Is anyone gonna tell him?
No one wants to tell him.
Like, if he goes back in the water, will he immediately turn back into the sea monster?
I don't think so.
Right, at this point, no? You have to start the process all over again?
Yeah. You gotta restart.
Christ. But because immediately, once he's back into a person, he's like, oh no, this sucks. And I'm like, you were trying to eat your citizens. You ate some of them.
Yeah. Oh,
you have eaten some of them already. But he's immediately like, oh no, it's too hard on land.
And so literally, like, the harp has to be like, you can't keep running away from your problems. Like, you're gonna have to fix this fallen kingdom, like, literally. Yeah. And you have to put in the work to do it. And, yeah, like, the king, he's, like, whining. He's like, I don't wanna, like, don't put me in charge again. Like, it's a bummer. Like,
he's like, it's so hard. I don't want to do it. I never did. Was he elected? How does this work?
I don't know. That's
who
the thing.
knows?
Like, yeah.
But we see that, so Alethea is quick to say that they don't believe in labels like leader. They probably, like, evolved past it since he's been gone so long. And they never chose someone to lead them again. That the king doesn't have to, Anestus doesn't have to do all the work alone. That they'll all do it together.
Yeah. And, like, Della's, like, helping Alethea, like, stand.
Yeah.
And Dewey and Huey are helping Vero stand. And then so Alethea goes to, like, help King Anestus stand, you know, in solidarity.
Yeah.
Because together, like, they can rebuild Mervana.
Yeah.
But first they need to conquer walking. Yeah.
And so they pull Anestus to his feet, and then they all immediately start flopping back on the sand.
So they got some work to do, you know?
Yes. Anestus is such a sad sack.
I think he was probably, like, an heir to the throne.
Right, and I'm assuming he didn't have a choice, and he's like, oh, this fucking sucks. I don't want to do anything. And so he didn't. And then he turned into a monster and ate some people.
Yeah, and he still doesn't want to do it.
Yeah.
So he didn't learn shit.
No, he learned nothing. He's been a sea monster for at least decades.
Mm-hmm.
Probably more, considering the state of, like, the buildings.
Yeah. So
we
see them, like, immediately try to rebuild.
Yeah.
Like, the tower, specifically.
Yeah.
It's not going well.
No. Yeah, because we see, like, the family's packing up. So they have, like, a rope and a winch, and they're trying to pull up this portion of the tower that just collapsed. And like, the harp is directing them.
Mm-hmm. And she tells them, like, oh, you know, like, it's gonna collapse.
Yeah.
And it immediately does. And Vero to Beakley, he's like, she's kind of, like, harshing my vibe.
Yeah.
And Beakley's like, well, she's not, like, telling you the truth to discourage you guys. Like, she just wants to help you succeed. And that we should all have, like, more faith in the truth. And we have Webby, who also, like, joins in. And she's like, you know, like, the world isn't perfect. And Louie joins in, like, but it's not all bad. Like, it's all about balance.
Yeah.
You know?
And that with the harp, listening to her, they can find that balance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I guess Anestus will contribute something to his kingdom at some point, I guess. Who knows? And so Huey marks in the Would You Know Witcher guidebook that the Lost Harp of Mervana is no longer lost.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that they leave her there. Like, there's no, like, consideration of, like, bringing her with them because she's a person and she wants to stay there.
Yeah, that's really good. And, like, Scrooge is happy with just, like, knowing.
Yeah, that she's there to, yeah.
It would be Scrooge, like, hell no, like, she's coming with us. It's
yes,
like, no, like,
yeah. I mean, if this is the original series, like he does in the original series, he wants the harp for his own personal gain.
Yeah.
But here it's like she's clearly a person, and she's here to make sure that shiftless hippies work hard and get a job.
Yeah. He's literally, like, kind of, like, sighs, like, oh, a harp after my own heart.
Yeah. So, I like that.
Yeah. And And so we see, like, the rest of the family has gone into the submarine. And the last ones to go in are Webby and Beakley. So as Webby's climbing in, she says, like, oh, well, we don't even need the harp because we're always honest with each other. And...
Yeah, and Beakley, she's like, well, I'm your grandmother. There's no lies from here on out.
Yeah.
Basically.
And as she's, like, as she's closing, like, the latch, we hear the harp, like... She's fibbing.
Yeah.
You know, fibbing.
Like we said, this episode is fairly tame in sense of there's nothing really groundbreaking or, you know, big really happening in this episode. It's a good episode, very, like, a solid adventure episode.
It's funny.
With the family, but it's not until really, it seems with Beakley and then specifically this last scene that are important.
I remember just hearing that, like, last bit, like...
Specific wording, her including... just saying, I'm your grandmother.
Uh-huh.
And obviously we know Beakley's keeping secrets from her. Why was she keeping Webby in the mansion her whole life? What was the reason for that? And then the inclusion of, I am your grandmother.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the implication being she isn't Webby's biological grandmother. Which opens up so many questions and possibilities. Yeah, lots of questions. Why did Beakley leave Shush? What happened? What did Webby have to do with it? What does potentially Fowl have to do with it?
Yeah, like, Webby's parents, like, there's been no mention of them at all.
Yeah, nothing. Who Webby's parents are, who they were to Beakley, if Beakley isn't her biological grandmother. Which looks like it's very much the implication.
Yeah.
Because why word it that way? Why not say, I'm not keeping secrets from you. We keep no secrets from each other. They had to include her saying, I am your grandmother.
Like, I remember being like, wait, why did you word it like that?
Yeah.
Why did you word it like that? That's very specific.
Yeah. Like, we've been hoping and waiting for Webby and Beakley backstory. And so it looks like, especially with Fowl being the main villain, and Beakley and potentially Webby being... connected to that very explicitly. So, yeah, definitely hoping for some Webby backstory. Webby and Beakley.
For sure. I really hope we see that.
Yeah. Alright, so that is the episode. And I believe we have questions?
We do.
I think we have like one sort of question on Twitter. I can just do that one real quick.
Okay.
Sort of a question. From Aaron Tarpey. You guys probably already discussed at this point, but what are your theories on what secret Beakley is keeping from Webby? Also, would you guys lie to Donald about his mediocre chili? I would lie.
I haven't had any great chilies, so his is probably great.
Yeah. I think I've had chili once in my life. I can't remember where. And it was okay.
Yeah. I think it doesn't take much to impress me chili-wise.
Yeah.
You know.
Could put some good beans in there. I don't know what goes in chili. Are there beans?
I don't know. That's the thing. Anna, like, we're Latinas. I don't really know what chili.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. There's, I think, beans. And
like a meat sauce?
Spices are in there?
Actually, I'm lying. My roommate made me some bomb-ass chili once.
Oh, nice.
That was really good.
What was in it?
It was like beans, like meat. I think she put corn in it.
That sounds good.
But then she also said, like, that her family makes it, like, different than the usual. So I don't know.
What the fuck is the usual?
I don't know. I think it's, like, the base is probably, like, beans, meat, sauce.
Yeah.
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 I'm getting hungry.
And I'm hungry, too. It's, like, midnight. Should not be eating. But, yeah, so, like, what secret could Beakley be keeping from Webby? Basically her whole life story.
Yeah. Like Webby's origin, really. Because, like, that's the thing. Like, Webby has never expressed, like, a longing for a mother figure. Or, like, a mother. Or a parent.
A parent,
really.
yeah. Father, mother, anything. Or anything about her past.
Yeah. Like, it's not like she had that connection with, like, the triplets over, like, losing a parent.
Yeah.
That's never really been a
it's
thing
not there. No, not with her. It's more, I mean, she has her grandmother, and then there's no other parent figure that she's ever that's never been mentioned or anything or implied. And then in terms of people's pasts, she knows all about Beakley's as a spy. She knows everything about Scrooge's. Or actually, I take that back. I think she knows everything about Scrooge's past. I doubt she knows anything about Beakley. She knows about Beakley's parts where it connects to Scrooge's backstory, but nothing about Beakley's backstory on its own.
Yeah, and we've never heard anything like Beakley, like the loss of a child.
Yeah.
That she would connect, like, I would feel like, with Scrooge over that.
Yeah.
There's never been that. So who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
But yeah, I think it's more likely that Webby is not, like, biologically related to Beakley at all.
Yeah.
Anonymous. What do you want to name them?
Alethea.
Okay. Alethea asks, if you guys had to make your own tales, what would you put on them? Love the show, by the way.
Oh, dang.
You know bowling alley carpets?
I do know.
I feel like, or like a bus carpet, like a bus seat.
Yes, like the traveling buses.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like I feel like
overnight buses.
That would encapsulate my soul.
That's good, dang.
You know, a little trashy, a little colorful, a little dark.
I'm trying to think of something funny. My mind is so blank right now.
Just a little marijuana plant.
The marijuana, like they have, like that white frat boys have on their socks.
Yeah, the little marijuanas.
I'm smoking that seaweed.
Oh my god. I literally want like a bowling alley pattern.
Oh my goodness. What's the next question?
No answer for you, or just the marijuana?
That was it. That was just the marijuana. I've never touched a weed. But yeah, that would be it.
Or like that like famous cup pattern from the 90s. That's like the scribble.
Yes, the scribble on the white background that's on cups. Yes,
that's perfect.
It's a runner-up. Thank you.
Okay. I think I'm pronouncing this right. Snartled says.
It's a good username.
Right.
You got it.
First things first. Mrs. B fucks in this episode. Strong wife.
Thank you for putting it into words.
Hell yeah. Louie and Webbs were also excellent. Their dynamic arguing was spot on. Peak sibling culture. My question is, what are your guys' theories on Webby's backstory and upbringing? I'm so excited for the show to get into it. There must be a reason Mrs. Beakley has trained her like that her entire life. Loving the podcast as always, guys. Thanks for the hard work.
Aw, thank you.
Thank you. I don't think anyone has described it as hard work.
I know. Just us talking about nonsense and ducks for hours at a time. But thank you. Yeah, I think, let's see, specific theories. But because she is hiding Webby. She's hiding her for a reason. And only let her go out once Scrooge was involved to protect her.
Yeah. My theory is we're gonna do Jurassic World 2 again. I don't know if you know the big
oh my god.
She left. She literally just got up and left me.
Okay, I'm back.
So if you guys don't know, I actually have not watched this movie, but my brother talked through
It's not
the
good.
whole movie.
It's not good.
I think literally my brother and I was showing him an episode of Darkwing Duck, and halfway through it, he just told me the entirety of the plot to this movie. That's sibling culture right there.
Yes. Spoiling a movie you'll never see.
In the middle of watching a movie.
Yes.
And so the whole thing is that, like, one of, like, the, like, older guy, like, owners, like, has this, like, granddaughter, but in reality, they used, like, that, like, dinosaur technology to basically clone his daughter that had died. So his granddaughter was actually a clone of his daughter.
Yeah.
So my theory is clones.
Of what?
Of Beakley! Of course.
Who cloned her?
I don't know. Foul. Who knows?
Yeah, I really don't know. 'Cause my first guess would be Foul. Because they're the big bad. But Foul so far has given no indication that they even care about Beakley. Or Webby.
True.
Like, so far, just based on, like, what we've seen of Foul, all they've talked about is Scrooge.
Mm-hmm.
And although, besides, like, Black Heron's backstory with her, I mean, there hasn't been any indication that Foul, as a greater organization, that Beakley's even, like, really on their radar.
True.
As a big threat on the same level that Scrooge is. Because Scrooge is, like, their big guy. They need him. And then they're going to, the whole thing, it's centered on him.
Yeah.
So I think I'm not sure if Foul is looking for them. Just because, obviously, Foul is the obvious culprit because they're this super evil organization that's been in hiding.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, because Beakley talks about them so frequently.
Yeah.
And as we've mentioned before, we haven't seen anything of Shush in the modern day.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if having to keep Webby secret has something to do with Shush.
Ooh,
maybe Shush being corrupted. Maybe because, like we said, so we have seen no evidence of Shush in the modern day. So what if they're defunct? What if, like I said, they were corrupted from the inside out, like a Hydra inside S.H.I.E.L.D. situation, where they couldn't trust Shush anymore? Because, like, even Webby is talking constantly about Foul, so it doesn't make sense. Yeah, Webby's constantly talking about Foul, and there's no way Beakley would tell her about it if Foul is the whole reason they're in hiding.
True, yeah, because she mentioned them, like, back, like, in the first episode,
yes.
like...
She had Foul on her board, and I know she mentioned Foul again in Whatever Happened to Donald Duck.
Mm-hmm.
Is my last concrete memory of Webby mentioning Foul. So I don't think Foul is behind it, because Webby wouldn't know about it if that was the case.
Yeah. She would have been protected from that.
Yeah. And on the other hand, she has been protected from Beakley's backstory. Beakley's standalone backstory. Especially if it's having to do with Shush. Yeah, so I'm wondering now, we know nothing about Shush. What happened to them?
Yeah.
Like, Ludwig is dead, ? We don't know what's going on, if they're even around still. And Beakley doesn't mention them. She mentions Foul a lot, or she mentions, like, Shush Protocol. But we haven't seen Shush in the modern day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna bet on Shush being behind it. I don't think... Yeah, because Webby's mentioned Shush so little. In comparison to Foul, like the explicitly evil organization.
Yeah. But whatever it is, it's going to be both heartbreaking and really cool.
Yes, I'm positive. The show's good at that.
Honestly, yeah.
Never forget Last Crash of the Sun Chaser.
I still need to rewatch that. It's been a while.
Yeah.
I don't want to cry.
Not emotionally ready to rewatch it.
Another anonymous.
Vero,
who says, this episode is further proof that Beakley has lived an exciting life, and I'm not just talking about her being a spy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Beakley can get it. We know.
Beakley. That's why our first episode is titled that.
Yeah, can Beakley carry me?
Yeah, and I'm still really salty that there's, like, no merch.
Oh my god, yeah, no. She deserves at least the fucking figurine.
Yeah. Was she in the little money banks? No, right?
I want to say no.
Ugh. I have, like, 20 Hueys from that. For a lot of Hueys. Okay, another anonymous. Last one.
Anestus.
King.
Just enough names. Nessus. He doesn't deserve the title of king. He ate his subjects.
He really did. Damn. We're the first ones. We're groundbreaking. So Onestus asks, favorite pop culture mermaid?
Oh my god, what mermaids are there? Little Mermaid.
Her daughter, I forgot her name.
Melody. I watched the sequel more than I watched the original growing up.
I think the same, because I vividly remember that scene where Ariel is like wearing her dress and she like dips her feet in the water. Yeah.
Okay, what are the fucking... I'm gonna Google mermaids in pop culture, because I'm blanking on everything. There's the mermaid girl from Splash with Tom Hanks. I didn't need Google for that.
I remember... What's the... Aquamarine, right?
Right!
I love that movie as a child. There's... What's the King Neptune's daughter in SpongeBob?
Right! Oh, shit. What's her name? I feel like it's also an M name.
Mandy,
you got it. There's the mermaids in Peter Pan that try to drown, what's her name? Wendy. It's valid.
Oh, it's Mindy. Is it Mindy or
Mindy? It's Mindy, right?
Mindy.
Yeah.
What? But it's so weird. Some of these say Mandy. Huh.
It's Mindy. It's Mindy. I remember.
It's Mindy,
it's
right?
Mindy.
I love her.
Are there like no mermaids in pop culture? Is it just Little Mermaid?
For some reason, when I look at the images, it's all Lady Gaga as a mermaid.
I'm seeing that too.
Which, I mean, valid. I love her.
Let's see. There's Splash, Aquamarine. Are there like? Is it literally just Little Mermaid? Is Little Mermaid really influenced our culture that much, and that is the only mermaid movie?
That's weird.
Oh, sorry. I've chosen my favorite mermaid.
What?
The mermaid boy from the 13th year. It's the kid who's one of his parents or some shit is a mermaid, and his legs start turning into... He starts turning into a mermaid, and he starts, like, growing scales and fins on his feet and shit, and he starts being able to talk to fish. I think it's like it's a Disney Channel movie.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's beautiful. So,
hold up.
The 13th year, look it up, please. The images are beautiful. Are you Googling?
Wait, I forgot. How do you say mermaid in Spanish? Sirena.
Yes.
All I see is mermaid lady.
No, you need to look up look up the 13th year.
Yeah, I am.
Are you seeing it?
Like a lady in the
water.
water.
Are you seeing his flippers?
I see his hand covered in scales.
You need to see his flippers. Look for his flippers. Keep looking. He has flippers.
I see them now.
This is a Disney Channel movie.
I had never heard of this movie ever.
I've definitely watched it on TV. It initially aired in 1999, so I watched a rerun at some point in the 2000s. Definitely watched that movie. Oh, the actor's hot now. This kid's name, no joke, Shez Starbuck. Shez Starbuck is the kid actor who is now an adult. His name. Wow.
Oh my god.
This went places. All right.
Yours,
yes.
Is that your favorite?
Yes, the 13th year. Yes, for his tail flippers.
So I'm gonna say that my favorite. I think we talked about this either in real life or on the podcast before.
Oh goodness!
But as a child, I had a favorite show, a novela called A Mi la Niña de la Mochila Azul. And it was just about this girl.
Yeah.
She had like a blue backpack, and then something. Her dad is like a sailor, so they live by the pier. Mm-hmm. And then it turns out like that she has like this friend who's a mermaid. She's played by Tatiana, like this famous singer, children's actress. And she's like a cool mermaid. Blah 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 blah. Turns out her mom's that mermaid. So that's my favorite mermaid.
Does Aquaman count as a mermaid?
I think maybe.
Right, because doesn't he live in Atlantis or some shit?
Yeah, he would count as a mermaid.
He counts.
Mermaid man
Mermaid man! Ugh! We dropped the ball.
We suddenly forgot all mermaids.
We did. I'm like, I had to Google mermaids, and Mermaid Man didn't even pop up. It's on Google.
Mermaid.
He is mermaid.
So yeah, that and Mindy. Mindy's funny.
Yeah, she's fun.
Princess Mindy.
Was that our last question?
That was our last question.
These are some very fun questions, actually.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Honestly, as a kid, I did pretend I was a mermaid.
Oh my god, yeah. You go in a pool, I'm a mermaid.
I know. I also vividly remember playing Shark Boy and Lava Girl in the pool with my cousins.
100%.
There was like 4 lava girls and my brother was Shark Boy.
100%. Oh my god.
Playing pretend.
Memories.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think that is all for us. Thank you for joining us in this short, rambling, fun episode.
Yeah.
We'll be much more focused next episode because Daisy.
Daisy.
Very excited for that.
And Los Caballeros.
Yeah, they're there too.
Yeah. But yeah. You can send us any messages at our Tumblr at amorespatospodcast.tumblr.com.
Follow us for updates on Twitter at amorespattos on Twitter. You messed up the order.
I'm sorry.
It's fine.
We're just staring at each other on Skype.
You can message us at our email at amorespatospodcast@gmail.com.
You can also leave us a review on iTunes, and we are on Spotify. I'm trying to update like something that has everything cohesive so you guys can access things more easily.
Yeah.
So keep that on mind.
Yeah. Thank Michael at Spintrick for his lovely cover art. And that is all for us. Mm-hmm. Saludos, amigos.
Saludos, amigos.